Hi guys, welcome to the video. So in this video we'll just see the next part, okay, of digital audit. Here the control consideration or objectives of auditing digitally. So what the question will be is that you are going to see a lot of emerging technologies. Those emerging technologies is going to give you a lot of benefits, but it is having some risk. As a auditor, what are the control considerations, okay, you will have? That will be the question. So with respect to emerging technology, there is a risk, there is a lot of benefit, but there is a risk. So what are the considerations, control considerations, or what are the objectives of auditing digitally? So first we'll see what are the control considerations. The first one, you should have understanding of the industry, okay, the understanding of the changes in the industry and information technology environment. So why should you have those understanding is that you can effectively evaluate the management process, how to initiate it, how to process the transaction, how to record the transaction, and you can design the appropriate procedures, okay. So you have to have understanding. Why to have understanding? Understanding of the changes in the industry is very much important, not only the industry but also the technology, to evaluate the process, initiate the process, record the transaction, etc. So first point is understanding. Okay, understanding is very much important. Second, after understanding whatever the changes, you now consider the risk resulting from those new technologies, etc. Okay, and last one is that whether digital upskilling or specialist or experts are required. Okay, you just analyze it. So these are the three considerations you will go for emerging technologies. Understanding the changes, after understanding it, go for whether what are the risk of implementing this new technology. After that, whether digital upskilling is required, specialist required, or experts is required, you will analyze it. Okay, now let us go to some of the examples. Okay, examples you can remember. We'll just go to easy 5 points. Okay, easily you can remember this point: unauthorized, unauthorized. So these are the risk. What is a risk problem? Main problem is that you are not authorizing it properly. What is the unauthorized problem? Unauthorized changes to the data, unauthorized changes to the program or systems. Two things. So unauthorized data in the master files and changes in the system. These are the two unauthorized changes. Okay, these two are unauthorized changes. The third one is the failure to make the necessary changes. Okay, three things is over. You remember 5 to 6 points, that is enough. Okay, once these three are done, now why this problem are arising? This problem are arising because of a man. He is making inappropriate intervention. Because of that man, there is an unauthorized changes in the data, unauthorized changes to the system. He didn't make the necessary changes, so he failed to make the necessary changes. So it is all because of that one man. Okay, so one man. Now the common point you can remember is cyber security risk. Okay, so this everything will lead to the loss of data and inability to access the data as required. This will lead to inability to access the data. That's it. Okay, we'll go to this point. What are the key steps for auditors in changing technology environment? Okay, so the technology is getting changed. Okay, we have to adopt to it accordingly. Now the technology is changing. You have to do two things. Again, the same points. Remember, you are going to understand. You are going to understand two things. First of all, understand the technology. The impact, it impacts the flow of transactions. Okay, how it is impacting your flow of transaction, completeness of the scope, and then how you are going to design it. Okay, and how its audit response. You first understand your flow. Next, what is the impact? Understand the flow of the transactions, etc. And you also understand the direct and indirect effects of technology, right? So these are the two things you have to understand. Now you have to assess. Okay, you have to assess the appropriateness of the management system, how appropriately they are doing this. Okay, uh, how they are doing the process. Okay, how they are selecting, developing, operating, whether there is a control or not in the organization. So everything you have to assess it as a key steps for auditor. You are going to remember, you are going to understand two things. That is, one is what is the impact of technology and what is the direct and indirect effects, and how its use, okay, is going to be there in the overall risk assessment, okay, how it's going to affect the overall risk assessment. So these are the two things you're going to understand. Third thing is that assess the appropriateness of the management process. How is the management process? You just assess it. So whenever doing all these things, you just maintain professional skepticism. You just maintain professional skepticism. So this is your first point, this is your second point, this is your third point, and you can remember this as a last point, maintaining the professional skepticism. Okay, that's how we have completed this part of control considerations or objectives of auditing digitally. First of all, you have an understanding of the changes in the industry, and then what are the risks arising from it, whether the expertise or upskilling is required, specialist is required. What are the 5 points? Okay, what are the risk, technological risk? If they ask any risk specifically, you will write 5 risk, that is unauthorized changes to the data, changes to the system, and failure to make the necessary changes. These are the changes point, 3 points. And this is your, it is because of the man, it is because of the man. So inappropriate manual intervention. And last 2 points you can remember is that the potential loss of the data and cyber security risk. Last is that the steps in changing the technology environment, what the auditor should do. Okay, you have to get the understanding of the impact of the technology and what is the effects, direct and indirect effects you should understand, and he has to assess the management process, and last one is that he has to maintain professional skepticism. Okay, so I have completed this topic, and let's see in the next topic.